It marks exactly a month since Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced the ban on the 500 and the 1,000 rupee notes. The market, of course, been affected, as has the country. Mangalam is here to walk us through the stock movement over this last 1 month.
Well, Sumera, I'll start with the auto pack since it's been a month since demonetisation, and there if you can see Tata Motors from the passenger vehicles is down about 18% in a month, but the commercial vehicle sector has had a worse cut. So the likes of Ashok Leyland, M&M, Atul Auto, even SML Isuzu seeing cuts of anywhere between 15 to 17%. The two-wheelers should now come up for you. They haven't had it as bad as the commercial vehicles, but nevertheless cuts of between 4 to 8% seen on the likes of TVS Motors as well as Eicher Motors being the key outperformer there. The banks, on the other hand, segregate them into private sector as well as public sector banks. The public sector banks have actually benefited, so we've seen gains of almost 12% in the likes of Union Bank as well as Indian Bank, while the big boy SBI is relatively unchanged over the last 1 month despite the volatility. In the private sector banks, rather public sector banks, Punjab National Bank saw a cut of 6%, but take a look at the bigger banks there in the private sector space. ICICI and Axis down almost 9%. HDFC Bank, the big boy there, also down 6%. And then moving on to the NBFCs, the biggest NBFC in the country right now, HDFC, down 9%. We saw cuts of 14% in Bharat Financial Inclusion as well as PNB Housing Finance as well. And finally, take a look at the consumer stocks. There we saw cuts of almost 12% to 6% in Asian Paints to Godrej Consumers, but HUL was relatively unaffected. Gems and jewelry was the sector that saw the biggest amount of cut, as was the real estate sector. The name should be flashing on your screen right now.
All right, Mangalam, thanks so much for that. Well, Stallmer's